Hello, everybody. We're live again. Now, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but it's pretty weird that that everything was shut down. So that's pretty weird. So we're back again with with Jay Lightly from PermaSafe. Excuse me, that kind of threw me off. Never had that happen before, but massive power outage in this whole area, which is pretty strange. So, again, guys, as you're jumping on for this important message, I'm only going to keep Jay here for a little bit, but we're in the middle of just awesome conversations, and I want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to be able to participate in what we're talking about. So just to recap real quickly, Jay is the president of PermaSafe, and we are talking about a product that disinfects and eliminates 99.9996%? I think there's a six in there somewhere, right?
It's what they call a 5 log kill, which is 99.999.
No, okay.
Five nines.
Five
And
nines.
to explain that a little bit, you hear jokes about 99.9. Where's the other? The reality is it's a huge difference because your office desk, the one you're on right now, probably has about 1 million bacteria in a 8 by 8 inch area. So if you do kill 99.9%, that leaves 10,000. So I don't think you could avoid those in that little area. Whereas a 5 log kill, 99.999, would leave one.
Gotcha. Okay,
Big,
that makes sense.
meaningful difference.
But one thing I wanted to ask you prior to all the big power outage here, and I don't know, they could do it to us again here. So if we do, I apologize. Again, thank you for your time. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but did we have a conversation about, and I don't want to throw around different organizations, but is this, and I want to make sure I use the right words, also FDA approved or registered, or what is
So in general, dumbing it down a little bit for my own benefit, um, inanimate objects are under the purvey of the EPA when it's ingested or related to food. It's instead of the EPA, it's the FDA.
Okay.
And our shield product, the antimicrobial, long-term protectant that we apply, is FDA approved. Actually, for use on all silverware, dishes, pots, pans, surfaces, and also for use in the human body on implants.
Oh, really? That's
Yes.
interesting. That's real interesting. Now we had talked, and we talked just before the original take of this thing, because I have an Apple Watch, and you had mentioned, or in some conversation. So I'm thinking, and I misinterpreted the information, that all Apple Watches had this protectant on it, but you said it's not all. It's kind of an upsell from Apple, right? Am I correct? Am I saying that correctly?
Correct.
Okay.
I believe that's accurate. There are quite a few products that do integrate.
Right. Drop some names. I think that I
Okay,
found very
so
interesting.
Nike has a line of antimicrobial activewear.
That's a big name drop.
As does Under Armour,
Right.
and specifically their shoes, because when you're in a gym environment and you're working out and you perspire,
Right.
largely the odors are bacteria, not the water. So to have the ability to eliminate that during wearing it and throwing it in a hamper is pretty extraordinary, and that also speaks to the efficacy of it. Obviously, it'll have to last forever to make that marketable. Swingline has a antimicrobial stapler. Bic has an antimicrobial pen.
Wow.
And they're all part of that class of surface modifying antimicrobials because they're able to provide continuous ongoing protection and without chemicals.
Right. So, and I guess this is just me, and this is outside the car business. So pretty much daily, and I've tried to keep my mind straight during this situation that we're currently, as a nation, as a world, facing. And I'm personally, I think I'm a really kind of a clean freak anyway. It's just myself and my hound dog, but I'm like constantly cleaning surfaces in my house, doorknobs, kitchen counters, my laptop, what have you, for refrigerator door, microwave, the normal stuff. Am I correct in saying that if I had this product at home, let's just say, Jay, I could fog it and I'm good to go? I don't have to mess with that stuff anymore, other than natural cleanup, of course, that you would just normally do. But
So
I don't have to get the Lysol disinfectant. I don't have to use these Clorox wipes and that kind of thing. Am I correct in making that kind of claim?
largely, and that's subject to the microorganisms that product. That's not a disinfectant, but it is an antimicrobial. So it is effective against a very large spectrum of bacteria. But yes, that's the entire concept, is to have beyond that initial cleaning, wherein as soon as somebody sneezes, touches, whatever, those microorganisms are there again. But with this product, yes, it will continuously kill them. And again, that doesn't mean you don't have to clean. You do.
Right.
But
Right.
keeping that product, in good condition, you are correct. Yes.
Okay. I want to take a little bit of a right-hand turn here and talk to dealers for a moment. And I've been in the automotive industry for 48 years, so I've seen my share of darn near everything. And I've experienced in my life, I'm going to use the old etch as an example. Used to be, I don't know, some people still use etch, but a million years ago, etch came out. Every car came in, they'd get the etch, and then they'd try to bump them in the box in the F&I office, and dealers were charging. I mean, in some cases, it was, I don't, price gouging isn't the proper term. It was straight out felonies, frankly. What I want to talk about to our dealers, because a lot of our dealers are going to want this product, and I know we're going to be bombarded with orders for this product, and rightfully so. You got to protect your vehicles, protect your customers, and so forth. So, and I encourage that for a number of reasons, obviously. What I would hope that our dealer clients would not do is take advantage of the current situation and take advantage of customers on this and use, for lack of a better way to put it, scare tactics to scare their customers into paying outrageous amounts of money for this product. Because I'm going to tell you, and I'm not going to mention a figure over live here, but it is, in my mind, ridiculously cheap. It's under $100 and considerably under $100, and mark it up a little bit. This is a volume thing. It's you might even see some dealers pass it along to their customers for free. That's obviously up to the dealer. But what I would ask dealers to do is to not price gouge consumers with this. It's a perfect storm to be able to do something like that and take advantage of people. And I would be very, very, very sad and disappointed if that took place. So just let's do the right thing as an automotive community and an industry with this product. It's a no-brainer to get right now. And we can get product out to you. Again, Jay, and I want to make sure that I'm giving proper information. I just got a text from a customer in terms of putting in an order. I mean, just literally 30 seconds ago. I don't want to mention the company, but it's a fairly large company. In terms of order time, if a dealer reaches out to myself or Automax and go to our page or Dealer World, and they put in an order, what can we expect? I know you don't have a crystal ball, and I know you got trucks headed your way, and I think you got your own you ended up getting your own trucks to make sure that you had enough product. But
Yeah.
a dealer reaches out to Automax or Dealer World today and says, I don't know. I know, obviously, you warehouse enough where we can send out a case or two, but in terms of volume, where are we at here? Am I 2 weeks? Are we 2 weeks
Uh,
out or something like that, or what?
Orders received today would ship Tuesday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we are, we've ramped up and we've got
Whoa. Okay.
product, raw materials, and every few days we're running more product here.
Okay. Well,
So,
that's great. That's changed since yesterday, so that's awesome news. That's awesome.
yeah, the company line is we don't want to overpromise and underserve.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
we try to stay within the 1 week to 2 weeks guidelines, but we're aggressively working around the clock to produce, bottle, and get it to the distribution centers.
All right, excellent. Okay, that's really good news for our customers out there. So folks, so dealers, just we'll send you out the order forms, and you just heard what Jay said. So we can, I mean, an order received today, it can be shipped Tuesday, and bang, you start applying it to, and again, like we talked earlier, we're talking about 12 to 14-minute application by one of your hourly people. And again, we'll get the video out in one of these streams. This is going to show up on YouTube and on Facebook as part 1 and part 2. But there'll be those videos will be available where you can actually see an application being done. It's I don't know. I get amazed by different stuff, but it was pretty amazing to me to see this guy fogged his car, and I mean, and he had a timer going, and how super simple. I mean, literally anybody can do this. So it's not complicated. It's an easy application, effective, timely. It's really, man, there's like zero holes in this thing, Jack. I mean, kudos to you, man. It's just like. And I don't know, it's so weird, every once in a while in life you find people like you that have the foresight, I don't know, you obviously couldn't have seen what's happening now happen when you first started this thing. You just did it because it's a great product to begin with, and cars should have it, period. But then this happens, and it's like, wow, thank God for people like you that has a solution to a big problem.
It's a little overwhelming, but yes.
Yeah.
So there is one guy that did kind of predict it, and I would encourage your audience to look up on YouTube what Bill Gates is afraid of.
Wasn't that weird, that TED Talk? Is that what you're referring to?
Oh, this is more recent, and since that TED Talk, he's done quite a few of these, and
well, he brought out a big drum, was that the one?
That was one that we shared with you, but what Bill Gates is afraid of, and he reviews the loss of life from a microbial infestation. That's pretty staggering, and he predicted one pretty spot on.
Yeah,
I guess he's fairly bright.
Yeah.
So some interesting facts from that: loss of life, World War I, 25 million. And fast forward to World War II, 65 million. But in 1918, between those two wars, 50 million perished from the Spanish flu.
Right.
And that is not unlike what we have now. We have better medicine, although much of it is becoming ineffective against various viruses, which is a whole nother conversation, because I'm your age at least. Right. And do you ever remember a new virus?
No.
No, I mean, we had Legionnaires, right? We had Legionnaire's disease.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But now, every 6-7 months, there's something that in 2020 we have no remedy for. Right. And that's because they are able to adapt, and antibiotic overuse and a lot of that is accurate, and they're organisms, so they adapt, and that's challenging. But because of the poisons that we typically use to kill germs. One thing you can never become accustomed to is a spike through the head. And that's essentially the difference. It's a physical kill as opposed to a poisonous kill that is the final step of our product. But yeah, the Spanish flu was very wicked.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
you're not old enough to go through that, so don't stop saying how old you are. So
well,
and I, we're going to take. I'm going to share the youngest man in the car industry billing with you. So
thank you.
you have my permission to use that. So I think I stole it from somebody else. Actually, I stole it from a stand-up comic. So. But so along those lines, this isn't a funny subject, but it's very important and very timely. So the science involved in this is so interesting to me that I mean it really. And again, I wish, and we should have probably done it maybe a little different way looking back on it. But again, all this will be available on these streams. But where you have a slide in one of the presentations that we can send to dealers where it actually shows what look like little spears, those positively charged spears that attract the negative viruses and bacteria and so on and so forth. Now, in the size of those, and I don't want to mess that up, but it's so folks, don't think of this like so you're going to sit on the seat of your car and you're going to get electrocuted. that's not happening. But there is an electromagnetic charge that's happening, and that's what effectively kills these bacteria and viruses.
It's actually the piercing of the membrane that so it is pierced, and then the electrocution, is lack of a better word, is exactly what happens. Correct.
Right. But not you can't feel it because I mean these.
So it's the height. Is somewhere around 1/1000th of the diameter of a human hair.
Right. That's so exactly what I was going to ask you next.
You're not going to trip over it, and it's not going to shock you.
Right. 1/1000th the size of a human hair.
Hair. Right.
Right. Okay. All right. Got that. All right. Now, in those spikes, if you will, am I calling it the right thing? It is a spike, right? Is that kind of what we refer to it as?
Yeah, I mean, an appliance, a spike, spear. I call it a spike.
And what is the composite of those spikes? Is it? Did I read, or is it wood and?
So, trying to make it simpler to understand, it's not unlike sand, wood. It is a glass type.
Oh, right.
That's the best analogy without lots of syllables. Yes.
Yeah. Well, you can go full syllables if you want to. So
I'm running on 60 minutes of sleep last night. So
yeah. Well, I'm not going to keep you much longer.
I'm struggling with my name.
I know. Well, yeah. Your brain bandwidth has got to be at max. That's for sure. Which I can understand and appreciate. And again, I appreciate so much your time and all the information that you've put out so far. So. I guess we can wrap this up with a couple things. If you could, Jay, I don't know, number 1, 2, 3, whatever, in some sort of priority. Why is it so? Gosh, I don't know. I'd like to say that it's damn near mandatory in my mind for car dealers to have this. What could you tell our audience and why? Would you agree with, I don't know, the word mandatory? Is that right, Jay? I mean, or are we overreacting there? Is that?
It's all voluntary, certainly.
Yeah.
And but listen, it's a very unique situation we're in.
Right.
And if you listen to the CDC, and everybody should,
Yes.
I think the simplest thing you can do, outside of our product anyway, is just wash your hands and don't touch your face. It's a lot of it's that simple.
Yeah.
Most of it occurs from the inhalation of very fine droplets of from somebody else.
Right.
So there's something to be said for that 6 foot perimeter that we want to stay away from. But more importantly, the average person touches their face unknowingly, like you just did. I don't know, multiple times every minute, and infants, children, way worse.
Yeah.
But that's the issue. So if
Right.
you touch it on a surface and transmit it, if you have it on your outer skin and there's no, I'm not a medical doctor by any stretch,
Right.
but washing your hands is incredibly important.
Right. Yeah,
And that,
it's amazing. Just as a side note, it is amazing when they said don't touch your face, how now observant I am of touching my face. And it's like, my God, it's like it's constant with me. It's like, Craig, stop
and
it, man.
everybody,
Yeah,
it's
right,
just the way
of
it
course.
is.
Yeah,
And,
it's
and
so
children
weird.
are a huge challenge.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So
So getting back to the dealers, so new vehicle, car, truck, sport utility, whatever, comes off the truck. Man, this is a must. You got to protect your customers ongoing from all the bad stuff that's happening in an automobile. Obviously, it's a zero brainer, obviously, on that, and very effective. Used cars, trade ins, pre owned, uh, the stuff that you're going to retail. Now, also for you pre-owned dealers out there and your used car dealers, even the small operations, and you're buying the cars at the auctions, whether you're buying them online or you're physically there at the auction. This too, I, if I'm a used car operator right now, if I own a lot and I've got 20 cars, 50 cars, 100 cars, or 200 used cars sitting on that lot, in my opinion, and again, this is me talking, I'm not speaking on behalf of PermaSafe or Jay. In my opinion, and based on my 48 years of experience, if I'm a used car dealer right now, I have a value proposition I can now use with my customers that every single dealer on my street, and you find one used car dealer, there's 10 right next to each other, I have a value proposition that I can put forth to my customer that no one else, unless they have the product as well, because we're not talking about exclusivity here, correct? I mean,
right.
that's not just not, because everyone should have this product, but obviously, is the way the world works, not everyone's going to. But if I'm a used car dealer, new car dealer, that's going to be in my value proposition. I'm going to market it. I'm going to advertise it. I'm going to tell every single customer that walks on the lot that this car is fully protected in the two-step process. And so you're safe. And, without, again, marking the thing up, it just brings more value, air quotes, value to that particular unit sitting on your lot. It is a zero brainer for your used car dealers out there or new car dealers that are retailing the trade-ins. So it's every vehicle from a new car dealer standpoint, everything that you're going to keep that you're not going to wholesale, you got to put it on in those cars. For your used car dealers, your inventory comes from the auction or what have you. Got to be applied to your cars. Simple as that.
We've got windshield clings, large ones, small ones that say sanitize for your protection and provide a little overview, as well as posters for showrooms and stuff. And I think what's key right now is to get the customers back in the building
Yes.
and promote that you have sanitized your showrooms and the vehicles they'll purchase. But largely right now, showrooms need to get the people in the stores. And
Right.
if you're buying hand sanitizer for them, get disinfecting
Right.
hand sanitizer. Something that'll actually work.
Right.
That's important.
Yeah. Yeah. What is it? 60% alcohol based, or it's basically useless, I think, or some stat I saw along those lines.
Yeah, you have to have the right concentration, but what's most important is just reading the label.
Right.
The EPA provides standards that you can use, that you can advertise. Just read them. If there's no virus kill claim or it's not a disinfectant, cleaning your hands is never a bad idea,
Right.
but will not kill
Right.
the virus.
Right, and again, and I don't want to belabor this point for the people that watch the first part of this that are jumping back on again. However, it's important whatever product you're using now. It's either on the bottle or what Jay referred to as the master label. I believe you,
Okay.
the way you put it. if it's got that skull and crossbones on it, it says poison, it says harmful chemicals, keep away from pets and humans. Dudes, you can't put that stuff in your cars. Don't stop using that product. Don't put it in your cars. You're doing more harm than good. You've got to switch over to the PermaSafe product like now, like literally now. And I'm not my probably a minor panic tone to my voice, but I think it's that important. And I don't think I'm overselling it or overstating the importance of this. I think it's something that has to be done now. Jay, let me ask you this. In terms of the interior of a dealership, and I guess there's a lot of different ways. I mean, it can obviously be done overnight when there's no customers there, but this is so safe that if you were inclined to do so, you could apply this fog literally while there's people in the building. That's how safe it is. I mean, it's not optimal. I mean, it's better to do it at night when the place is closed.
I suggest that only because when you're fogging, it does remain, it depends on humidity and airflow and other issues, but it can remain in the air up to an hour, actually.
Okay.
And there is a mild eye irritation warning on our second step.
Oh, that's right.
While it is being misted or fogged,
that's right.
Once it dries, there's no harm at all. And again, it can be used in the human body.
Right.
So
right.
It's and on foods contact surfaces. So very safe, but that's once it's cured. So 24 hours max, but it's fine as soon as it's dry to the touch for customers to get into the car. But we want to be mindful of the information and the instructions that the EPA has approved.
Okay, all right, good. So I'm glad I asked you that question. So dealers, so what you want to do is after you close, have your hourly people come in, fog the area, and then obviously by the next morning you're open for business. You're ready to rock and roll and go with that. So okay, that's great information. And a lot of dealers right now, and it's something that I've been screaming about for a long time. The old thing in the car business, Jay, is in BDCs, business development centers. Those people that are setting appointments, the old thing was, get them in. Get them in. Get them in. Get them M instead of them. It's EM. Get them in. And it's like I've been screaming for years. Let's go to them, man. Why are we not going to them now? More than ever, it's very important because some people are not going to. They don't feel safe coming to a dealership. However, if they have PermaSafe, obviously that takes that objection away. So now we're going to, and it's happening a lot, both in sales and service. So some dealers are picking up customers' cars at their home at work, bring them to the dealership, repairing the car, and then delivering it back to them. Or if the person is interested in buying a vehicle, they're literally now, which we should have been doing for years. There's a huge Honda dealership in New York and Queens called Paragon, the Paragon Group. They've been doing this. Brian Benstock, just way ahead of his time. I think they've been doing it for 3 or 4 years, and they're going to make. They've been picking up cars for sales and service and delivering them literally for years. So they're way ahead of the curve, but the rest of the business is now being forced to do that. I think it would be good if I'm a salesperson, and I'm kind of thinking out loud here, if I'm a salesperson and I have a lead, I have a customer that's interested in a car, and I say, hey, look, no problem, I'll bring it to you. If I'm that customer, I'm going, oh, no, wait a minute. I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know how safe that is either. Well, then at that point, I can literally tell the customer, look, not to worry, because our cars have been completely sanitized with a product called PermaSafe. Here's what it does. And so that vehicle is protected. We're good to go. And it gives them a little more comfort level.
Yeah, that might be a bit of a stretch, because if the person that's driving it,
if they're infected or something,
sneezes or but every step you take is clearly going to be of value.
Right.
So depends on the level of panic that you bought into, and that's tough to answer. But obviously, using a disinfectant. Oh, and
Oh yeah,
maybe you should carry one of these
yeah.
because the efficacy of our step one is 30-second kill time for 99, again, 0.999% of bacteria and viruses. So
Right.
that'll all be helpful.
Do you have a couple of the bottles there of the step one and step two process? Do you have something handy you can show what the audience what it looks like?
That's
Yeah.
our standard vehicle service kit.
Okay. Good.
These are, we don't really sell, but what the heck?
Personal use.
Exactly. And then I'm not sure I have the strength to lift a gallon today, but and I don't have one in here. But we have gallons. We have 55-gallon drums, 275-gallon totes, just about every size receptacle.
Yeah. Awesome. That's great. So, all right. So just let's wrap this up by just if you could just broad stroke us again. What the first step, second step, and just a 30,000-foot view, if you would, on what the PermaSafe product and the product that we're talking about, what are the advantages to a car dealer having it in the vehicle, both in the vehicle and in their customer-facing areas of the store. If you could just give us a 30,000-foot view, we'll wrap this thing up, and I'll let you get back to serving the world here. Because I don't want to overstate this, man, but you are serving the world, and I'm so. No shit. I'm really honored to get to know you, start to get to know you, to do business with you. Kind of guy that's doing it for the right reason. It just, my hats off to you, man. It's you're doing a good thing,
Stop,
and you
stop, stop. No,
no,
thanks.
it's serious. I'm totally
So
serious.
it's really a system, the PermaSafe system, because it's comprised of two unique and patented EPA registered products. So the first one is not unlike a typical disinfectant, meaning that it kills by off-gassing. What's so unique about it, I think, is the broad spectrum. So it is a cleaner, a sanitizer, a disinfectant, which is critical because it will kill 5-log, 99.999% of viruses. It's also an odor eliminator. It is a mildew stat, a fungicide, anti-allergen. So it
Oh yeah, right.
dust mites and that. And its efficacy is a very, very quick kill, as I mentioned, 30 seconds. So you will apply it, and then as soon as you're done in that area, you'll apply step two, and it is an antimicrobial surface protectant. And that's the product that provides the electromechanical kill as opposed to any poisons. So that uniquely enables it to provide continuous protection, which is a critical piece that just really hasn't existed in ever. Now, the core of that product was invented 40 plus years ago. So it's, a 40-year overnight sensation. But it originally was methanol based, which
Methanol. That's the word I was looking for earlier. Yes, methanol.
so, yeah, you
That's the
don't.
bad stuff.
Yeah, it's other than maybe the coronavirus, it's more hazardous and toxic than the germs.
Yeah.
So it just wasn't in a customer-facing product, and now it is. So that can provide antimicrobial protection indefinitely, as long as you keep the surface clean, because it is a surface modifying antimicrobial. It creates a new surface technically. It's not a coating, it's a copolymer.
Right.
So that and good personal hygiene and sleep and drink water and do your best to stay away from this.
Yeah. Okay. So that's great advice.
Don't touch your face.
All right, dude. Again, been a pleasure. Thank you so much. I'm sorry about the and I can't blame you for this, so you can't take any blame for the
I
power
am
outage.
a big challenge. There's no doubt.
It was
Well, thank you.
thank you so much, and I'll be obviously I'll be talking to you again soon. So thanks so much, Jay. We really appreciate you. I'm going to stay on for just a bit to go
Thank you.
do some sponsor stuff and so forth. But thank you so much for your time, my friend. It's so appreciated in what you're doing. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. All right, folks. There we go. PermaSafe just awesome. I hope you guys, we obviously apologize for the massive power outage that took place here in the area, but these guys went crazy getting us back on the air. So hopefully between part 1 and part 2, you'll find a lot of good information. I want to, a couple things I want to touch on just briefly, and then we'll get out of here, is number one, Matt Kinning. A lot of you know they're a sponsor, Rockstar Events are a sponsor of the Recruiter Podcast. Matt is in the hospital right now. I don't want to give out any bad information, but he's being tested. That's about all I know. I haven't, obviously, because I've been up here for a couple hours, haven't been keeping up on that, but our thoughts, our prayers are out to Matt in that situation there that he's experiencing. I know he's had this cough for several weeks. I think, probably going to get this wrong, so that's kind of the way this goes on information, but either cracked or broken rib. The cough was so bad, and admitted himself to the ER, and I think he is still there. I'm not sure. If anybody knows that information for sure, they can put that in the comment section. I want to thank our partner, Stephen Warren, Automoto HR, the absolute best career-branded websites, job posting, HR, compliance, electronic onboarding product that I've ever seen, without a doubt, that there is available. Period. End of story in that. I want to stay on that for a minute before I talk about our last sponsor, which is Tacoby. And I've mentioned, of course, Dealer World several times here. They're a sponsor of the program and a friend of ours. And I'll get into that a little bit here too. But I want to talk about Automoto HR, and I can't help but talk about my company, Automax Recruiting. So here's kind of the way it goes right now. We understand in a very uncertain world right now that is changing at the speed of light, damn near. I don't know. In between when the power went off, I went outside, checked the stock market real quick, and it's bang bang up and down. It's most everything I looked at was green, which is good. But we're in a very, very quickly changing environment right now, and no one knows one day to the next right now what's going to happen. And obviously, at some point, there'll be a quote unquote new normal that we're all going to be dealing with in some form or fashion. I think obviously the best thing to do is not freak out and panic to the best of your ability, for sure. But in talking about business and in talking about staffing, so this goes to Automoto HR, it goes to speak about Automax Recruiting as well, who obviously is a sponsor of the show. Folks, dealers, here's the situation. And I can assure you, totally get your mindset and where you're at and trying to protect your families and the families of your employees and team members. And I get it. And that must be your top priority, obviously, of course, along with keeping your customers safe, which PermaSafe, just to plug again, will absolutely, positively help you do that. In my opinion, that's a no-brainer, but I'm sidestepping a little bit here. But I want to talk about staffing. Right now, I mean this week, hundreds of thousands of people, of talent, have become available to you that were not available to you 2 weeks ago. Now, here's as sure as you're listening to this, and sure as I'm sitting here and you're wherever you're at, here's what's going to happen. If you choose right now, and I get it, to do the quote unquote hiring freeze, I get it. Some of you might need to lay people off. I also understand that. However, here's the reality. It's like, and I've told this story a couple times over the last couple days to a couple different people, but it's kind of like this. This might be a little hokey, but oh well. And I'm going to do a little sugar here. So, and I'm going to grab another bottle of water. Here's the deal. Here's how I look at it. And this, you can blast me if this is way hokey, and it probably is, but I think it'll make some sense to y'all or some of you. So let's say you're a fisherman. And let's say you're planning on going fishing this morning. You thought about it yesterday, the day before, and today's the day you're going to go fishing. But you wake up, and it's raining outside, and it's a little chilly. You got the sniffles. You're not feeling 100%. You're having a little trouble at work. Whatever. Your boss is a moron. You're having trouble with a coworker, whatever the case. You and your wife had an argument, or significant other had an argument yesterday, the day before, that's kind of taken a couple days. Your kids are a mess, whatever. But you wanted to go fishing. So you suck it up, Buttercup, and you put your gear in the car, truck, you go to the pond, and lo and behold, you're the only one there. It's like, okay. And you go ahead and bait your hook. You cast the line. Boom. 5 seconds. You get a hit. Pull it out, and it's this big old bass, man. It's like, wow, man. I'm glad I went fishing today. Let's see what's up. Bait your hook. Cast it out. Seconds later, bang. Another monster bass, man. Throw it in the basket. Throw it out again. Bang. Same result. Throw it out again. A little one. You go, you know what? I just hit 3 big bass. I'm throwing this one back. Same story. Perpetuates itself. Whatever. You're 10, 15, 20 beautiful bass in. The little ones you threw back. You go home, you're happy as a clam. Everything seems a little bit brighter. The sniffles have gone away a little bit. You're starting to feel a little better. Rays of sun come through the clouds. You make up with your significant other. You have a discussion with your children. They're straightened out. And you take equal responsibility for the situation that you had at work. Maybe they're under a little stress too. Or you wait to go fishing till the skies are sunny. You're feeling 100%. Everything's awesome. You load your gear into the truck. You go to the watering hole. You and 30 other fisher people are in that same pond. Now you're not by yourself. So you bait your hook, cast your line, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait. And you get a bite. And it's that little dinky bass that you would have thrown back. Well, at least it's something. It's better than nothing. Put it in the basket. Bait your hook. Throw it out there. Half hour, 45 minutes later, get a hit. Bring it in. Another dinky one. Well, it's better than nothing. At least I got a fish. It's not great, but at least it's a fish. Throw it in your basket, and you go home. Craig, what does that have to do with talent? Okay, here's exactly what it has to do with talent acquisition right now. If you're able, you got to think about this, because this is real world. Automax Recruiting and Training has been doing this for 22 plus years. We've done 19,000 plus recruiting and or training campaigns in every position in a dealership in the U.S., Canada, and Puerto Rico. We've placed over 180,000 women and men in every single position in car dealer. We know what we're doing. We understand the labor market. We understand recruiting in its entirety. And here is what will happen, not could, what will happen. If y'all wait till that sunny day, you're going to have a whole bunch of car dealers with fishing rods in their hand around that pond looking for that big bass. And what's going to happen is you're going to end up with them little tiny bass that you would normally throw out. But at least you got a body. At least it's somebody. Maybe I can make a salesperson, a BDC rep, a service advisor, or what. Maybe I can make them out of something. But what's available right now, ladies and gentlemen, are the big fish. I mean, the big fish. It is literally, this is no exaggeration, there is no better time to tap into top talent in your area than right now, if at all possible. Now is the time. Because whenever this flattens out and we get back to quote unquote business as normal or the new normal, whatever it might be, I'm here to say this, that getting through to us is going to be hard to begin with. It'll be kind of reverse, like when we try to call car dealerships and no one answers the phone. It's going to be kind of the reverse. We'll have to restaff up to take care of the demand is going to be ridiculous, and the supply will dwindle because of that demand. Everyone's going to be at that fishing hole. So you might want to step out of your comfort zone. Do something that seems or sounds like an oxymoron right now to you based on current situations. But now is when you can, talent is available to you now that I am telling you based on the 22 years that we've been doing this and my 48 years experience in the car business. There is never been, will never be, a talent pool available to automotive dealers than there is right this moment. And that's a fact. This is not, I'm not guessing. This is a fact. A month, 2 months from now, whatever the case might be, it's going to be a whole different story because everyone's going to be casting their line into that pond. And you're going to have to take what you get. And that's not the way I would want to run a business. I want the best of the best. And you can get that now. And if you need help with that, reach out to Automoto HR. You reach out to Automax at 800-878-5090. Automax Recruiting, 800-878-5090. We just, if you watch on Facebook, it's got a couple thousand views, I think, already. My son, Joe Lockard, who's the director of operations, put out a video yesterday. It wasn't a live, it was a straight video about our remote recruiting and training program. Something, again, we are bad, should have done it years ago, but sometimes the situations force brilliant moves, and this is a brilliant one, where we can do literally everything that we've done for 20 years in terms of floor salespeople, internet salespeople, BDRs in your BDC, service advisors. We can do full-on recruiting and training, just like we've done for 20 years in your dealerships. We can do it virtually. Everything can be done, and we will never, ever come into your building. So those of you that are concerned about having vendors come in your store, large masses of people come in your store, whatever, stop worrying about it. And you need people because everything I heard and read, people are selling cars like candy bars. It's like, for the most case, there's a lot of people walking in your store right now. Those folks are buyers, man. They're buyers. They make a phone call, an inquiry. That's a buyer. You're going to need people to take care of these buyers. So staff up now. And we have a situation where you can do that remotely. And it's sweet. And it's an awesome process. And guess what? There ain't no travel, there's no hotel expenses. So, guess what that means to you, the dealer? It's less money, considerably less money. So, man, take advantage of this new program. Take advantage of this particular situation, both the talent, the smaller investment on your part as a dealer. It's a kind of a no-brainer. One other thing I want to talk about is our friends at Tacoby. Again, times like this they're hard on vendors, hard on us. I don't want to tell you the amount of money we're already down, in a week or two. It's substantial. It's keep you up at night kind of money. And I'm not looking for woe is Craig. That's that's not my point at all. We'll make it through this, and we just will. And I have full, complete faith in that. What is it? Hebrews 11:1. Faith is being sure of what you certain of what you hope for, sure of what you see, and sure of what you see, and certain of things that you hope for. Sure of what you hope for, and certain of things you cannot see. That's what it is. Excuse me. Sorry, God. So that's what faith is, and it's so I have faith that this thing will turn around, of course. But our friends at Tacoby, just like everyone else that's dealing with car dealers right now, you got dealers backing up a little bit. You need those leads. Unless you are flat out shut down, you need those leads. And our friends at Tacoby can provide you those leads. So reach out to them, Dan Webb, Jason Girdner, reach out to them, and I'm sure you'll make their day, and that's a pretty good thing. We've got to keep this thing rolling, boys and girls. Got to keep it rolling. I have, if you've noticed, if you follow me on social media, I've not made literally any mention. There's enough opinions on Facebook to last a lifetime. And frankly, the way I handle it, I only look at what our Automax team members post or very close friends of mine post. And I will not look at negative posts. I will not look at conspiracy theories. None of you are doctors that I know of. Excuse me. So it's an opinion. And there's a lot of arguing and a lot of this and a lot of that. I have opinions, obviously. I'm going to keep them to myself or my very, very close friends. I've talked to our staff of recruiter trainers and all our internal staff, and we made a decision as a team based on my suggestion, but everyone was on board about eliminating even the quote-unquote funny memes about the virus and stay away from those conversations. Put positive messages out there. Our heads are not in the sand. We get it. But in the morning, when you wake up and you have your morning ritual, whatever it might be, for me, it's a few moments of meditation and breathing. And you have that first cup of coffee. It's important to be grateful. It's important to count your blessings. I'm telling you, boys and girls, and my babies, we got over some parts of the world, we're so blessed in so many ways. And I think it's time that we all be grateful for that. I think it's a very important time to, as some people are saying, and a lot of people are doing, is help your neighbors. It's very important. I talked to these 2 doors down from me, awesome family, and he rolled up in his truck yesterday, and we stood about 12 feet away, and simultaneously, at the exact same time, we both said, "Is there anything you need?" Like literally at the same time. Is there anything you need? Is there anything you do? And we started laughing. It's like, wow, man. That's the way it's supposed to be all the time. It's the way it should be all the time. The problem is, and I won't get too into this, the community's too big. We're talking about 350 million people. If you break it down into smaller groups, we're all okay. We're all okay. Now I'm talking about, when I say groups, not talking about right now because that's social distancing. I think that's probably a good idea. And that's as far as I'll get into discussion about the virus and everything that's going on right now. So I really hope that you've enjoyed today's podcast. I got to apologize for the two-part thing. Got kind of wacky. So those of you that are watching or have watched part 2, there is a part 1. They're both posted on the Automax Recruiting page on Facebook and Automax Recruiting on YouTube. There'll be some post-production. We're going to put in a lot of the information that we talked to here, links, how to go ahead and contact us to go ahead and get this PermaSafe product into your stores as quickly as possible. As Jay said live during the interview, orders today will ship Tuesday. So it's Katie bar the door. This is a product that you literally must have. The science on this is exact, and there is no better product available, period, end of story. And when you make the call to us, I'm assuming you're going to be a little freaked out on how cheap it is. I really do. I really want you to beware on this stuff. There's a lot of stories out there that there's some bad people taking advantage of a horrible situation. That's not the case here. And again, let me double back to dealers. I mean, I obviously have no control on how you run your businesses, but I would certainly hope that dealers that we do business with, that you would price this at a reasonable level. When we talk to you and you go ahead and do an order, we will give you what our opinion and what PermaSafe's opinion is on retail pricing, because I don't want to see any price gouging out there with our dealer clients anyway. I can't control what you do. I can only make suggestions, and you will hear that conversation when you call us on the phone to make an order. So just be aware of that. Again, you do what you want to do, but that's our suggestion. I want to thank our friends here, producers. I really can't say where we're at right now because we're actually really not supposed to be here. And if you want to go conspiracy theorist, that's probably why the power went out. So, but I don't know. So at any rate, I'm going to sign off with that. We love you. Stay safe. Love your families. Pick up the phone. My dad's 92 years old. I gotta finish with this story. This is kind of cute. He's 92, and he's had some challenges, but he's pretty strong old booger. And so he calls me the other day, and he left a voice message, and I could hear stuff going on in the background. He lives in South Carolina, in Aiken, South Carolina, a beautiful town. And so he calls me and leaves a message. I hear this noise. I mean, like people in the background. He says, all right, so Liz is his wife. Liz and I are at the club. We're having a little trouble getting in for dinner because it's packed. And, man, there's a lot of people here who've been waiting in line for 10 minutes now at the club. And he's, now, son, I don't want you going anywhere. I want you to stay away from big crowds. It's like, I'm listening to this voicemail. It's like, oh, gosh, Dad, that's just pretty funny to me. He's in a crowd telling me not to be in crowds, but, I'm a fully grown man, youngest man in the car business, but fully grown man. And my dad, who's 92, is at a crowd telling me to stay away from crowds, so it cracked me up. But at any rate, those of you got children at home right now and you're learning how to become teachers, that's awesome. For those of you that are ready to kill them, have empathy. They're in a unique situation themselves. They don't know how to handle it, maybe, as the children, that is. This is totally different and out of their comfort zone, so be patient. Love on them, play games with them. Let them eat some junk food. What the heck? Make this a good time for them. this is, I know things get wacky and things change pretty quick, but man, I don't know. This is might be the kind of thing that just changes a lot of us uh, for the better. I can assure you of one thing, and I just talk about myself. I'm learning things every single day based on what's going on little tweaks, little things, little pivots, as Miss Delgado would say, little changes that I needed to make in my life, and I'm doing them right now, that I'm going to carry forward. So, in some form or fashion, I look at it as a blessing, not as a disaster. So, but also, again, my head's not in the sand. I get it. So, with that, I will sign off by saying that we love you. Stay safe. Keep doing business. Give us a call if you need anything. If you need PermaSafe, obviously, give us a call. It's on our website, Automax Recruiting and Training.com. It's also, again, on Dealer Worlds at mydealerworld.com. So reach out to us, and we'll get this stuff at, at your store exponentially. Thanks again. Thanks to our producers here, both producer Adam and producer Dave are here today. Thank and love you guys. Appreciate you very much. And have a good day and peace, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye.